Hello and welcome to MBA 604 Innovation and Sustainability. We are in Lecture 6, covering Unit 3 with Learning Outcome 3A. I am Joni Roberts, and I am the Vice Program Chair and Consulting Professor for Saylor's MBA program. All right, so of course we are following that study guide and the learning outcomes like we've been talking about throughout these lectures. And we are heading into the second half of the course, which is Unit 3, Integrating Entrepreneurship with Innovation and Sustainability. And today we are talking about the sustainability entrepreneurial process. All right, here's our image that represents Unit 3, and it is Be the Change Maker. Maybe I should have made that BEE, the Change Maker. All right, so you can see some creativity here using a banana, some, vegetation to drive electronics, things like this. So we're going to try and, really get our minds going in creative and innovative ways during this Lecture 3. Well, the question is, how can entrepreneurship make the world a better place? So traditional entrepreneurship means finding new ways to solve problems in the marketplace. But this short-sighted definition has, as we have been learning, contributed to many sustainability crises, right? All right, so eco, and social entrepreneurs who look at environmental and social aspects and take the traditional approach to solving problems and integrate it with the progressive values of sustainability and the triple bottom line of people, planet, and profit. So it's not like we're just getting rid of everything from the past. No, we're building on that. We're taking the best of those frameworks and tools and thinking for entrepreneurship, yet we are remembering that we are operating in a world that includes society, and it includes the environment too. So let's talk about sustainability entrepreneurs. What are their abilities and attitudes? Think about it for yourself too. Do you have these abilities and attitudes, or would you like to develop them to become a sustainability entrepreneur? So they have resilience, passion, and persistence. They recognize change, social and environmental changes that are happening. They pursue market opportunities. They take on risk and responsibility. They innovate, right? They make things better, of higher value, and use resources in a wiser way. They strive to do things in an innovative and better way than what's been done in the past. So they create new value that is meaningful to customers and create shared value across all stakeholders. And they do it over again and again, right? So that is true for traditional entrepreneurs, but when you add in those social and eco values and conscientiousness, you become a sustainability entrepreneur. So what are the motivations for starting down this path? Well, one is the ability to pursue a passion or interest that's exciting and one that you care and you feel deeply about. It's the opportunity to create something new, enhance your personal reputation or your portfolio of work, the work that you're proud of, and make an impact or a difference in customers and employees' lives and in society in general. Other motivations are the drive to constantly look for innovative ways to protect the environment or improve societal conditions by providing new goods, services, or methods that reduce detrimental activities while also generating profits. All right, we need to think about, so how can entrepreneurs connect this innovative idea and the vision with the operational capabilities needed for success, right? So it's one thing to have an innovative idea. It's one thing to have an innovative vision. It's a different thing to bring that into reality and be successful in the marketplace, right? That's the hard part. That's really the hard work. So throughout our course, we have been using these two books, Breakthrough from Innovation to Impact, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And these are provided by the Owls Cooperative in the Netherlands. And the books explore real life case studies on how to transform ideas and inventions into innovations that make a real difference. So they apply an innovation methodology that matches capabilities with resources to achieve sustainable goals. All right, so um, I went through these books and I selected certain cases within these two volumes, and um, there's a lot of really good reading in there, like the circular economy, for example, and others that we've been talking about. And I do want to give a shout out to the Owls Cooperative and say thank you for letting us use these books. And also thank you to everyone who contributed to these books and the case studies that are there. And actually to all the learning resources in this entire course. So let's take a moment and reflect on how much work all of that is, right? So we've got our worker bee, coming along with us in this unit 3. And also, let's take a moment to think about how much effort people make all around the world to bring things like this into being, education, books, videos, sharing this knowledge. We have lots of videos where people made sincere effort to record those and put them out on YouTube, gave them a Creative Commons license so we could use them. And, we can kind of think about that like the cup of coffee, right? This whole sort of life cycle analysis. But we can also see that for just bringing a course like this to life for all of you, it takes a lot of people making a lot of effort in so many different ways. And I think it's important to reflect on that. Also, think about all the people at Saylor Academy who are working to bring these courses to life, and also to Michael Saylor for being the trustee and funding all of this so we can bring these courses to life. All right, so with the Owls Cooperative, they created this breakthrough process. And in the two books and all the case studies, they applied this breakthrough process where the conceptual factors connect the creative factors. So we're looking at, innovation and breakthrough, idea and vision. And with the operational phases, so we're looking at mission and strategy, planning and execution, the iterative process. And through research on these factors, they acquired insight into how these factors become part of the DNA in innovations and breakthrough processes. So these generic factors play an important role in achieving the same language and perception, which is important in international and multidisciplinary cooperation. It's important in any field to have shared language, right? No matter what language you're speaking in, when we have a business language, we're speaking in a shared language about how to do business. Now we're speaking in a shared language about how to do sustainable business, right? We're expanding on that vocabulary, we're expanding on that knowledge, and we're finding ways of using language so we can speak to one another no matter which country we're in, no matter which company we're in, so we can understand one another. Along with this breakthrough process, you have the enabling factors, both internally and externally, that help in innovation and breakthrough process. These are the people, right? The teams involved, environmental factors, and this window of opportunity. Now, you can be ahead of the market. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been ahead of the market. And when you're early, it's way harder. You're too early. You got to time it just right. I would say sustainability education is a window of opportunity right now, and that's why this course is particularly relevant. All right, so let's look at the breakthrough process. The underlying research of the OWLS project is a study of the generic factors that play a role in innovation and breakthrough processes from idea to realization. Innovation happens. Innovation is not just an idea. It's not just doing research in a laboratory. Innovation is realization of that innovative idea to the marketplace, to its usefulness somehow in the world. All right, so they researched this model to determine whether generic factors played a part in the successful execution of these innovation and breakthrough processes, and if so, which ones. So here, when you open the books, you'll find some diagrams like this. You have this idea, vision, and disruption, this innovative breakthrough, and you create a concept from that. You add on the operational factors like we talked about: mission, strategy, planning, execution, and you keep refining the iterative processes, going back and making it better, testing in the market or testing in test groups, going back and saying we can do this differently, that differently. That might happen before launch, that might happen after launch and over time, right? And then, of course, the enabling factors, the environmental factors and capabilities, this, again, window of opportunity, right timing, and the right people. All right, so in what ways has sustainability innovation led to new business models? All right, Albert Einstein is credited for saying, we can't solve the world's problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them, right? That's what sustainability is all about, is using new kinds of thinking to solve the problems we've been creating through business, right? All right, so what does thinking differently mean? Let's reflect on that. We're in Unit 3 now. We've been through a lot of content in this course. So how can we apply all that we learned in Units 1 and 2 to solve sustainability problems? Let's remember all of that as we go through Unit 3. Let's remember sustainability methods like biomimicry, like life cycle analysis, like circular economy, like the SDGs, innovation methodologies, and how to engage people in communities and engage citizens in innovation. Let's remember all of these things and apply it to thinking differently, so we're innovating in ways that solves problems and ideally doesn't create any new problems in the process. That's what we are aiming for. Well, something that has come forward for business models in innovation and sustainability are circular business models. This is a very, very important way of thinking today for sustainability. So we have the circular economy, we have the sharing economy, and a circular economy is built by using circular business models, right? So an economy is the overall way we're doing business, and then businesses are modeling the way they are doing business by doing things in a circular way, right? Well, that's making sure resources we have available are kept at the highest value possible for the longest time. It's about capturing value in new ways. It's about being restorative and regenerative. So instead of buy once and replace, right? This fast, one and done mentality that really provoked consumerism, which we have built most of our current economic models on. We need to shift from that because it's working against us now, to buy once and use many times, right? That's what circularity is. So this can come forth in a business model when we think about recycling and upcycling, right? Rentals, refurbishing and repairing. Remember when you used to get things actually repaired and then it became cheaper to buy the new? Well, let's think again about giving some longevity to products. How can we repair them? How can we make modular design so we can pull out one part and replace that part so everything's all glued together or something like that? Some of the The industries to be thinking about are groceries, tourism, mobility, tech goods, consumer goods, garments, food and agriculture, right? All right, what else? What else? I want you to be thinking too about what else. And if you have ideas, go ahead and post those in the comments below. Right. So a circular business model is the sharing economy, which can show up as services. And we see things today like what? Ride sharing, bikes and cars. I mean, who would have thought that you would take your own personal vehicle and use your own vehicle to start a ride sharing business like, with Uber or Lyft? That's thinking differently, very, very differently, right? Now you can go into a city and you can rent these bikes and you pick them up at one location, you drop them off at another location. It's a whole service. You don't have to go buy a bike and put it in your garage unless you're really a major cyclist and that's, you use it often. But if you're traveling, you certainly don't want to travel with a bike. And so these are really great ideas. Another sharing economy is office space sharing, co-working spaces. And co-working spaces are, maybe, companies today, instead of building new offices and, buying and or leasing large amounts of office space all to themselves, they'll lease co-working spaces. So you have to reserve a conference room for a certain day for your team, but you're not the only company using that conference room for that day. It could be 8 other companies using that conference room, or multiple companies throughout the week using it. And so you become mobile and agile, and you realize that you don't go to an office anymore, particularly where you have your own desk, but you just show up and share a desk with other people who are doing the same thing, even from other companies. So it's thinking differently. Also, with this whole remote work, now we have remote work and travel. So here's a photo of a guy. Looks like he's in some really chill place, beach vibe going on there with his laptop. And, entrepreneurs are creating spaces for people who remote work. And they can travel the world and just land in Bali or, whatever location, Costa Rica, and have a great time and have their co-working space, and they have a room and they have the internet and everything they need, and they're mobile. They stay for a week, they stay for a few months, they go to the next place, and creating a whole lifestyle out of this, which is absolutely fascinating. All right, so these are people who are thinking, wow, what can we do differently? All right, sharing economy. Now we have garment rental, right? For work clothing. Instead of buying this shirt, I could have rented it. I'm on video. Now you've all seen my shirt. So, it used to be like, oh, don't wear it twice. You can't wear the same outfit twice. I mean, that's absolutely a consumerism marketing ploy. Now it's cool to wear the same shirt over and over. And now it's cool. You'll see celebrities make the news for wearing the same formal dress they wore on the red carpet 10 years ago or whatever. That's newsworthy now. You'll see Princess Kate renting her gown for the Earth Prize that just happened in Boston. And that made headlines all over for that. So instead of buying, renting, so that gown Kate wore will go back, someone else will rent it and wear it. Kind of fun, right? Very true for wedding dresses and, like special events, like costumes and things like that. Do you really want a closet full of costume gear? Sports, let's think about that. I live in Florida. I'd like to go skiing, but what holds me back? I'm like, gosh, I don't really want to go buy all this snow gear, like thick padded, whatever, outfits to go skiing for one weekend, and then what, bring it back to my home in Florida and put him in a closet and hang him there? Like, who has that kind of space? I mean, maybe you do, but I don't even want stuff I don't use, just hanging in my closets. Well, there's an opportunity to rent snow gear, ski gear, from clothing, clothing to the equipment itself. And that way you just travel more lightly through the world. Now, another one, circular economy. Let's look at products, which can be recycling and upcycling. These scarves here are made with upcycled t-shirts. This is actually, if you look closely on this image, it's from an organization in Germany. However, my friend right here in Jacksonville, she's the founder of Rethreaded, and these could be her scarves because they look a heck of a lot like them. And they upcycle t-shirts, turn them into various designs, and they even have like a deal with Southwest Airlines where they have all these old leather seats from remodeling of planes, and they've taken that leather and they've reworked it, and they're making all sorts of leather crafts and leather jewelry. And that was a news story for Southwest because why? Look at the good they're doing, saving all this leather from going to landfill. They give it to Rethreaded. Rethreaded works it. They make new products out of it. They're upcycling it into jewelry, bags, and all sorts of things. And next, we'll be talking about social entrepreneurship, and Rethread is a social entrepreneurial org where they hire women and help them repurpose their lives after getting caught up in the sex trade and having their lives completely, devastated, and giving them these skills to make beautiful arts and crafts and run the business and reinvent their lives too in the process. So these are the cool ways that you can do entrepreneurship today. It's fun, it's creative, it's thoughtful, and it's better for the environment, and you can make a profound difference socially as well. All right, so how can entrepreneurship help solve social problems? Right, so I just talked about this a little bit. And speaking of social entrepreneurship, so something to think about is that um, well, okay, that thought I have, I'm going to get to that one in a minute. I want to talk about this first. All right, so many of the for-profit entrepreneurs engaged in sustainable businesses could be characterized as social entrepreneurs. So you can be a social entrepreneur and have a for-profit business. All right, so these are enterprising individuals who apply business practices to address societal problems such as pollution, poor nutrition, poverty, animal welfare, and who are interested in social change. So that automatically gives your company a purpose, gives a meaning. And then you start attracting people who also have a passion and an interest in that kind of change, for people and for um, endless amount of causes locally and around the world that you can do social entrepreneurship with. All right, so social change involves social processes where the values, attitudes, or institutions of society, including businesses, become modified. So that's how you become a change maker. You start changing the way things are done, right? In a positive way. And you get to influence that change through your business. So business can be a force for good. So entrepreneurship focused on bringing value to society is often referred to as social entrepreneurship, while entrepreneurship focused on individual and private enhancement value is simply called entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's how we're differentiating the two. All right, here's an example. Kiva, let me see something. Okay, yeah, well, I do want to say here, while we're on this slide, is to talk about, we used to think nonprofits weren't entrepreneurial, and that's not true. You can be a social entrepreneurship organization, and your legal entity can be just about anything. You can be a nonprofit, or you can be a for-profit, or you can be a benefit corporation, or different things. And you can be working for the government. And so we need to also remember not to think narrowly in the kinds of business formations you take on. There are different reasons for taking on different ones. So here are a couple of classic examples today for social entrepreneurship. We have Kiva. They were founded in 2005. They are a nonprofit organization with a mission to connect people through lending to alleviate poverty. All right, so they're the world's first person to person micro lending platform, and their slogan is make a loan, change a life. And they leverage the internet and a worldwide network of microfinance institutions, and they enable people, anyone, me, you, anyone, to lend as little as $25 to help create an opportunity around the world. $25, $50, $100, a couple $100 can start a business for people living in lower income nations. That's meaningful. And $25 is someone in a developed nation, that's, like lunch or, just pizza, going out for pizza and having a beer. So you can shift a pizza and beer and hand it over to Kiva, and you can help change a life, help make a loan, help change a life. Great. They have helped thousands of people around the world. All right, so that's how we can start, how we can participate, right? Instead of being a spectator, remember, we are now participants in sustainability and creating a better world. And that's one of the ways you can directly participate. Another one, we have to give a shout out to Ashoka, one of the founding forces behind the social entrepreneurial movement since 1981, been doing this a long time. And the founder of Ashoka, Bill Drayton, actually coined the word change maker. And now it's used extensively to represent people who are working towards social change and sustainability, and especially applying systems thinking is a big one in this organization. So Ashoka builds and cultivates a community of fellows, young change makers, change maker institutions, and beyond, who see that the world now requires everyone to be a change maker, a person that sees themselves as capable of creating large-scale positive change. All right, so they give grants and financial support to thousands of fellows dedicated to finding answers to a host of social challenges through business ventures. Now, to be in that organization, you do have to be a nonprofit, by the way. That is one of the requirements. All right, so how else can companies get further into this pathway of sustainability? One is by becoming a benefit corporation or a B Corp. And back when we were talking about Milton Friedman and the purpose of a business, also with the mindset of the past 50 years in business has been the fiduciary duty of a CEO is to make profits for shareholders. It was that profit driven approach. And benefit corporations allowed companies to legally shift and expand their fiduciary duties to include more than simply making only a profit, right? And you'll find companies that are B Corps are profitable, yet their purpose is beyond profits. And so anyway, so a B Corp is a way for companies to legally be able to invest in social and environmental causes without getting sued by their shareholders. So if you invest in a B Corp, you know what you're investing in, and end of story, So anyway, it's a newer type of corporation that uses the power of business to solve social and environmental problems. So B Corps are unlike traditional businesses because they meet comprehensive and transparent social and environmental performance standards and meet higher legal accountability standards. So you're investing in a company that is more vetted for these things. And to be a certified B Corp, they also have a framework for sustainability, right? They have a program and there's a process to become certified. You have to meet all of these levels and prove it. You're vetted for that. So it's a big deal. It's a long process. I think it's a little bit expensive. May not be something a startup can do right away, but maybe that's something a startup wants to achieve or work towards in the future. So companies that we've talked about in this course, Patagonia, for example, they were one of the first certified B Corps or benefit corporations. Unilever is now certified, and around 4,000 more companies in over 77 countries and 153 industries. So it shows you how vast sustainability can be when you hear of that many industries on the path. All right, very good. All right, so what I want to ask you today and to reflect on is, if you were to launch an entrepreneurial startup organization, what problems would you focus on solving and how? So if you are enrolled in the MBA program, head to the discussions in Unit 3 of our course and share your ideas on that. We all want to know what your thoughts are there. And also you can post in the comments below. All right, so to review Learning 3A, these are the study guide resources. Yet remember, all the resources in the course are important, and so I've listed additional resources here that also support what we have talked about today. So that is all for now, and I'll see you next time when we are going to go through Learning Outcome 3B. See you then.